Africa's World Cup 2026. Can football power become economic power? What if I told you that Africa may not win the 2026 FIFA World Cup, but it could still be one of the tournament's biggest winners? From New York to Los Angeles, from Toronto to Mexico City, African flags are flying. Tournaments are packed with supporters from Morocco, Ghana, Senegal, Algeria, Egypt, South Africa, Ivory Coast, DR Congo, Tunisia, and Cape Verde. The question is no longer whether African teams belong on football's biggest stage. The question is whether African football can transform its growing popularity into real economic power. Welcome back to When the Dust Settles. Today, we examine Africa's performance at the 2026 FIFA World Cup from a different perspective. Not just goals and standings, but fame, power, market influence, tourism, sponsorships, and economic value African football brings to the world, to the global game. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is historic for Africa. With the expansion of 48 teams, 10 African countries qualify for the tournament. You got Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, Tunisia, Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Cape Verde. That's a 9. This represents the largest participation in World Cup history. For decades, African nations fought for limited World Cup spots. Today, the continent has a much larger presence, and that presence translates into millions of supporters watching, traveling, buying merchandise, and attracting commercial interest. One of the most impressive stories so far belongs to the Ivory Coast. I went to the game, the first game the Ivory Coast played in Philadelphia. The Elephants opened their campaign with a 1-0 win over Ecuador, showing discipline and organization against South American opposition. They later suffered a narrow 1-0 defeat against Germany. I was so mad because they needed to win that game against Germany, one of the tournament's favorites. Despite that loss, Ivory Coast demonstrated that African teams can compete with the world's elite. The Germans needed every bit of their experience to secure victory. From an economic standpoint, every competitive performance increases the value of Ivorian football brand. Sponsors want what? Visibility. And successful national teams create both. The longer Africans remain, or every African country remains in this tournament, the more attention flows towards its domestic football system, players, and commercial partners. After becoming the first African nation to reach a World Cup semi-final in 2022, Morocco arrived in 2026 carrying enormous expectations. The Atlas Lions opened with a draw against Brazil and defeated Sweden Scotland 1-0. These results have reinforced Morocco's position as Africa's strongest football brand internationally. Morocco's success is not accidental. The country invested heavily in infrastructure, youth development, training centers, and international partnership. This is a perfect example of how football success often follows economic investment. Morocco is proving that when nations treat football as an industry rather than merely a sport, results can follow. Perhaps no team demonstrates diaspora power better than Ghana. The Black Stars defeated Panama 1-0, and today they end a half-fought draw against England. Ghana supporters filled stadium sections with black, red, yellow, and green colors, while generating tremendous television and social media engagement. The Ghanaians diaspora in the United States, Canada, and Europe creates a unique economic advantage. Many supporters travel long distances to attend matches. Hotels benefit, restaurants benefit, transportation companies benefit, merchandise sales increase. In many ways, Ghana supporters function as an economic engine that expands far beyond the football pitch. Now let's talk about Egypt. Egypt continues to benefit from the global popularity of one man, Mohamed Salah. The Pharaoh drew the first game, and then they defeated New Zealand 3-1, keeping their qualification hopes alive. Salah remains one of Africa's most recognizable athletes. I don't care what you can think about him. He had a bad year at Liverpool, but he's one of the most recognizable African players. His global profile attracts sponsorship, media attention, commercial partnership that few African footballers can match. For Egypt, football has become an export product. The national team's visibility enhances tourism and promotion, national branding, and international recognition. Then let's talk about Senegal, man. Entering the tournament as one of Africa's strongest contenders is Senegal. However, losses to France and Norway, which I was so discouraged, have left the Lions of Teranga facing uncertainties. Reuters newspaper described Senegal as one of Africa's leading hope before defensive mistakes contributed to a dramatic 3-2 defeat to Norway. Yet, even amid disappointing results, Senegal remains one of Africa's most valuable football brands. The nation produces elite players like Simon Mane and other people for European clubs, attracts significant television audiences, and command worldwide respect. Sometimes economic influence survives even when tournament results disappoint. Then Algeria suffered a difficult opening defeat against Argentina. They played very well in that game, but they responded by defeating Jordan 2-1. That victory restores confidence and keep qualification hope alive. Many analysts believe and noted that Algeria controlled possession and created enormous scoring opportunities while showing strong character after the opening setback. Algeria supporters, right, are amongst the most passionate in football, in world football, from North Africa, France, Canada, or the United States. Algeria's fans consistently create large and energetic crowds. That support has economic value because advertisers and broadcasters follow what? Audiences. The rise of a new African market. Two of the most fascinating stories are Cape Verde and DR Congo. Cape Verde is making a historic World Cup appearance, while DR Congo has returned to the tournament after almost 5 decades. Their participation demonstrates that African football is expanding beyond traditional powers. Every new African success story creates opportunity for sports tourism, television rights, sponsorship agreements, youth development investment, international scouting. These are the economic benefits that can last long after the final whistle. If you measure success purely by fan engagement, Africa has already been among the tournament's biggest winners. African supporters bring music, culture, color, and energy that few regions can match. Across social media platforms, African teams generate enormous engagement. Discussions among football supporters increasingly recognize Morocco, DR Congo, Cape Verde, Ghana, Ivory Coast as teams capable of surpassing the football world. In modern football, attention equals money. More viewers mean higher advertising revenues. More engagement means strong sponsorship deals. More supporters mean greater commercial value. The 2026 FIFA World Cup may ultimately be remembered as the turning point for African football. Ivory Coast defeated Ecuador before narrowly falling to Germany. Morocco continues to challenge football's elite. Ghana has showcased the power of its global fan base. Egypt remains driven by Salah effect. Algeria has demonstrated resilience. Senegal continues to command worldwide respect despite setbacks. And emerging nations such as Cape Verde and DR Congo are expanding Africa's football footprint. The real story is bigger than wins and losses. Football is becoming an economic force across Africa. Every ticket sold, every jersey purchased, every television viewer, and every supporter traveling across continents contributes to a growing football economy. Africa is no longer simply participating in the World Cup as it used to be before. Africa is helping shape the future business of global football. Folks, if you enjoyed this analysis, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which African nation do you believe has the strongest combination of football talent, economic potential, and global fan support? Let us know below. As always, folks, my name is Pico Conway, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.